Good evening, good evening, good evening, and welcome to another edition um, of In the Ladies' Room with Nikki and Michelle. Just waiting for Michelle to come on. Um, um, Today's topic we'll be discussing to vaccinate or not to vaccinate. That is the question. So I hope that we will be able to uh, talk about and possibly dispel some of the myths around taking the vaccination, or this is definitely going to be one of those nights when we really need your input. I would like to hear from you. What are your thoughts about the vaccine? Um, what do you plan on doing? If you're going to take it, are you still waiting? And we'll just talk about what's being said or heard in the media, on social media, as well as generalized media around taking the COVID vaccine. Uh, Again, good evening. You're in the ladies' room with Nikki and Michelle. Waiting on Michelle to come in. I haven't spoken with her yet, so I'm not quite sure if she's actually going to come on, but we are here. Uh, um, so I just want to say before we get started, good evening to everyone who is already logged in, and I hope you will join the discussion with your comments, your definitely your questions. Again, this is a topic that we will definitely need your input. So just remember to put it in, and I'll highlight it, and we'll talk about your concerns. We have Michelle in the building with us right now. Also, I don't want to dampen anybody's spirits with COVID, so much COVID talk. So at the end of this discussion, I thought we'd have another fun discussion to talk about. However, I really don't want to tell you what it is because I don't want you to move ahead and we'll be all over the place. But I promise you might enjoy it, and hopefully we'll also get something out of it too. Good evening, Michelle.
Hi. I'm a mess today.
That's okay. You're all a mess today.
I'm all over the place.
Well, how are you today?
I'll press the door, child. I'll press the door.
Towards the higher mark.
Okay, that's all I can do.
That's what we all can do. So, ladies, the question is, are you going to take the COVID vaccination or not? And before we even talk about it, I'll just talk about some of the myths around the vaccination, as well as some of the information out there about the effectiveness of the vaccination. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time saying vaccination today because my nose is like, I don't know what's going on with my nasal passage area part. Anyhow, so the Food and Drug Administration has um, authorized the use of vaccinations for the COVID-19. So I know that there are many things and many people out there talking about um, they're afraid to use it, and the FDA has not approved the vaccination. Just they approved the use of the vaccination, but it's not necessarily approved. So we want to talk about what you think about those accusations. Some of the accusations about people passing away after taking the vaccination, notably Hank Aaron. And I'm just looking for your feedback. I want to know what you think, and maybe I could answer some of your questions. Again, as you will see, we have ticker taping on the bottom. We are not medical professionals, and we cannot advise you in any way or give you any kind of medical advice. You must speak to your medical practitioner and decide with your own conscience what you plan to do about the vaccination. So again, it is approved, and they say, at least the information that I got from Johns Hopkins, they say that the vaccine is 95% effective in preventing serious illness or death from COVID. So let me break that down a little bit, because people are thinking, they thought, if you get a vaccine, you can't get it at all. That is not true. That's not necessarily true. You may still be able to get COVID, but you will likely not get ill enough or sick enough to die from it. And it won't cause you to have these extreme medical conditions where you have to be put on ventilators. It is 95% effective for that. So, being with that said, we also want to address that there are some people who are still very much afraid to take the vaccination because of our, especially as Black people, our past history with the medical system in this country, as far as Henrietta Lacks Black schools and the Tuskegee experiment. So yes, that's the topic, ladies. What do you think?
So I just want to highlight though before it gets away from us. I know you hate when I jump ahead, but somebody did mention that they have taken the vaccine, and I think it's the same person that's saying that I took my first vaccine already, take the second one on the 23rd. They showing up as Facebook users. So the first thing is I would like to know who that is. So give us your name.
Well,
The other thing,
wait, if they want to, because some people I think choose anonymity.
oh, okay.
If they,
Okay, well then the other thing is I want to know how they felt about the vaccine. Like, were they comfortable? Like, what helped them decide to take it? And oh, it's Beatrice. Beatrice.
oh hey Pete.
Okay, so how was it though? Like, did you experience anything afterwards, or it's BB? So, yeah. So I have to tell you, Nikki, I'm on the fence, and I'm a little ashamed to say I don't feel like I've done a significant amount of research on it. I can understand everybody's trepidation. This is such a new disease. We don't know anything about it. So there's really no case studies or no history of it. And it's just yet another situation where, we have to decide to rely, I'll say heavily on science and doctors to really know what the best decision is, but the reality is they kind of don't, because there's nothing to base it off of. I mean, they using their best knowledge, right? Their best resources and stuff, but having no precedence makes it difficult to make those choices. And the only thing that I can even remotely relate it to at this point is like the flu vaccine. Now, every year my doctor get on my case to take the flu vaccine. I hate taking it. And I don't even know if it's psychological at this point, but I got it in my head that just as soon as I take the flu vaccine, I'm going to get the flu.
Mhm.
And it could really be psychological, right? It really could be. Because we all know I'm a hypochondriac. But that being said,
Mhm.
I don't know.
Well, I've taken the flu vaccine, I want to say at least 10 years in a row. This is the first year that I didn't take it, just because I don't know why. I had trepidation about taking it myself because of COVID. However, the difference between this and the flu vaccine is, like you said, there is not a large body of precedents to kind of gauge where this thing is going and where it's been. And most of all, there's no long-term studies of different effects that not only the disease may have, but also the actual vaccine. Because we do know that there are wonderful vaccines that people have taken, and it has caused other side effects
Mm-hmm.
in the long run. So, one of the things that I want us to kind of even talk about this evening is the fact that, you know, forget everything that you hear in the social media. If you really kind of think about it, pay attention to the science, and even if you want to kind of, recall the history and do your own research and see other alternatives to the vaccine, that's all fine and dandy. But the thing that you have to do most is weigh out, I try and weigh the risk versus the benefits. And for some people, the risk may be a little bit more, you may not want to take the risk. I'll give you an example. Let's just say you're an older person over 75 years old, right? And not to say that, because I don't want to sound like some people are saying that the medical industry is sounding like they're using old people and sick people as guinea pigs. But the truth of the matter is, older people or sicker people, when they get COVID, it is much more deadly for them.
Yeah.
Or even if they don't die, it's a lot more burdensome on their system, on their body. So you might want to outweigh the fact whether maybe a long-term effect of the vaccine will, do some harm to you later on, as opposed to not dying now. So those are real considerations that people need to really look at, as well as the fact. I mean, I really hear, especially the Black community, I really hear them when they're saying they're afraid, they don't know what science is doing. But you also have to have a little bit of common sense with this too. They because here's a stupid myth. They are not giving us different vaccines than they're giving them. So let that one go, everybody. There's no tracking devices in the medicine, in the vaccine. Let that one go, So you have to stop listening to some of the silly things, because as far as the tracking goes, if the government want to track you, they could track you without a vaccine. They don't need a vaccine to track you. So please let that silliness go. But as far as the actual risk to benefit, that would be individual for you to weigh, because there is such a thing as herd immunity. And what herd immunity is most of the population will probably contract this, right? And if they contract it or they get vaccinated for it, either one, there's less spread. And if there's less spread, there's less disease, and then it goes away. That's kind of the basis of herd immunity. But do you want to risk it? Do you want to risk that in the time that we're waiting for herd immunity to come, you're going to be one of those people who contract it and die? Those are the things you have to think about. So I'm trying to get to this comment right here. This is a big one.
Experts say people can still spread and even develop COVID-19 after getting a vaccine. They note the immunity from the vaccine doesn't begin to emerge until at least 12 days after inoculation. They add the vaccine doesn't prevent coronavirus infection. It helps protect against serious illnesses. Experts advise people who get vaccinated to continue wearing a mask, washing their hands, and maintaining proper physical distance.
That's so perfect, cousin. Yep. That's it. It's not a cure-all. This is not something that you're going to get you're going to get the shot and you never have to worry about COVID again. No, you get the shot. It protects you from being seriously ill or death. But although we know that this is just part of life, but there is a such thing as what's that saying? When something happens to 1 out of 10,
a statistic?
No, there's always a deviation from the norm. Put it that way. I can't. There's a saying for that. I know I'm saying it in a different kind of way, but there's always a deviation from the norm. So if the norm is that everybody is well, it might be 1 or 2 people who die from the vaccines. That's what I mean.
An exception to the rule type thing.
That's the word. Thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that, but yes, there's always an exception to the rule. So when you're hearing these reports about certain people dying, then Yes, because everybody's body is different. No two people are going to react the same to the drug. So we have to be also mindful of that. Um, Beyonce says she's had both doses. And like you said before, Michelle, let's hear some of the experiences about what happened after you had those doses. Did you feel? How did you feel? Were you sick? Anything like that.
Well,
After,
I don't want to jump too far ahead. I don't want to get yelled at for jumping ahead, but I could just tell from the comments Dion feels strongly about taking the vaccine. I think she feels like the risk is greater by not taking it than it is by taking it.
okay, then read her comments. And
My thing is for my thing is 450,000 people die. It's a risk by not taking it. People get COVID and die 7 days. Zap me people recover and are never the same. Blood clots, stroke, lung issues, etc. It's the same vaccine for everyone.
right. And as far as the Moderna and the Pfizer, they're both almost identical. They both need 2 doses for them to be effective. I don't remember which is which, but one has to be taken within 20 days and the other 28 days, I believe. They are coming up with, I think it's Johnson and Johnson, who's trying to do the 1 dose. They're about to approve that. So we're just waiting on the 1 dose. But in the meantime, this is all we have. Now, I get it that some people, myself in particular, I'm planning on getting the vaccination, but I'm waiting a little bit. I want to see what it's doing, you know, in the short term, because there be a while before we have any real long term studies on what it's doing. So I'm at least gonna wait the short term. So I'll wait the second or third, maybe fourth round. But I do plan on getting the vaccine. Um, okay.
I started taking the flu shot as I got older, but stopped about 3 years ago.
So any thoughts about why you stopped? Yeah, and got the flu. 45 years. I've never had the flu. I never had the flu before.
How
Um,
is that possible?
I was what
I guess it is. Never having. I don't know if I had it either. I probably had a cold, but I don't know if it was the
and
flu.
knowing you had a real little cold and you made it the flu in your mind. That's probably what
Listen,
happened with you. But it's possible. And as a matter of fact, when you think about even the taking the vaccine or not, I would definitely advise if not taking the vaccine is something that you've decided, then you're really going to have to work on pulling your immune system up, which means you probably should not be drinking as much. You need to eat a very healthy diet. You need to take your supplements. You should be drinking tea all the time, warm liquids. You really have to take care of your body if you're going to decide to be one of those people who are not going to get the shot. Markel says, I get my second dose on 2/11. We are at risk every day for our life. Soon as God bless us with a new day, I'm going to leave it in God's hands. Right. So she's dependent on God and the science, and that's how we have to. That's really literally all we.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Um,
And black and brown people are dying at an alarming rate.
yeah, and the sad part about it is this: I think that we have been so spooked by the way in which we have been treated in the past that we are not getting this vaccine. There have been shortages in some parts or some areas of the country, but because Biden made a mandate to really make sure that Black people will get the doses first because they were underserved and dying at higher rates, he put it in some of our communities first. But what is happening is that white people are coming down from the areas that they live in into the African American communities getting these shots because we have been foregoing getting the shot. So that's a serious concern in and of itself. Um, Uh, yes, I agree. I'm taking my chances with the vaccine versus the ventilator. I agree. I feel strong also with many family members that have COVID and my beautiful niece dying. That's right. Um, I had a
Dion said, I had a headache and a sore arm after the first dose, took Tylenol and was fine. And listen, quiet as it's kept, that's pretty much the same response with a flu shot.
when I
When I received mine, my Uncle Dap and I compared how we were feeling for the 2 weeks following. He had the Pfizer and I got the Moderna.
and tell us a little bit more, Markel, about
Yeah, what was was there any difference or?
comparison.
Okay, so here it is confirmation. The Pfizer is 21 days and the Moderna is 28, which I think is what you said, Nikki.
Uh-huh. I said 20, I think. But thank you, cousin, for clearing that out. Um,
After the second shot, I had a headache for 2 days and Tylenol handled it. I'm relieved I can say that. Yeah, because I feel like you probably feel like you have an added level of defense against this COVID thing instead of just going out bare. I haven't taken a flu shot in over 25 years.
uh, COVID is not going away, so we need to prepare for that mentally and physically. I agree. Because I think the thought or the assumption for so many people is that if you get the shot, then you could just go back to life as normal.
No.
And I think it's going to be a long time before we go back to life as normal. In fact, I know for me, there's not going to be that old level of normal again, because COVID-19 is one thing, but what about the next thing that comes along? So I think this will keep us at a much more vigilant um, pace as far as our surroundings and being close to people and touching and hugging everything and everywhere. I think that for me anyway, I'll be wearing my mask forever. I'll always have a mask.
Yeah. And I think that I don't yeah, you're right. Even if there is no next big thing, the trauma of it all is going to impact us continuously, I think, because we're more mindful now. We realize, having gone through this, how very fragile these diseases are, and how not fragile the diseases, but how fragile we are, I should say, and how they could just attack us at any moment, and that's it. I think for a long time we thought we were invincible to some degree, right? So, and I think people still walking around feeling somewhat oh, it's fine, it's fine. Look how many people said it was going to just disappear, it was going to go away, and now here we are. I'm still on the fence about it, but I will consider it in a few months. I want to hear more about it. I do continue to take my vitamins in the meantime. Yeah, I think that's how we kind of all feel. But I'm right dab in the middle. Like, there's a part of me that want to just call my doctor and be like, line me up. And then there's another part of me that's like, but I don't want to grow a third eyeball in 6 months.
Yeah, I'm right there too. So, like I said, I'm waiting for maybe third, fourth round, see what happens. Because literally, you're really waiting for that kind of what's happening to people in the short term. Because there's no way at this point in time we're going to be able to find out what's going on long term.
Right.
But I will say this, and I liken this a lot to HIV and AIDS epidemic. When that epidemic came out, people were dying like flies, especially in our community. But literally, they were dying. It was years. It took years for them to die. It was a slow, painful. It was just not a pleasant death at all. But it was taking years. With COVID, unfortunately, some people can contract COVID within weeks. They're gone. So
Right.
for me, that is like a startling difference. Like, at this point in time, it's between life or death. If you have something to choose between life or death, you would probably want to take life, even if, because in my mind, if I had to take life with 9 fingers instead of 10, I'll take the 9 fingers, So I think that's the way I'm also looking at it as well. But it is a scary prospect because we don't know what's in it. It took so fast to develop,
Mm-hmm.
and I hear even controversy on that. But as far as the speed in which it took to develop, you have to also remember that technology and science is also far more advanced than it was 20 and 30 years ago when AIDS was on the scene. So these are all things that we have to really use our own rationale now and common sense to think through and not necessarily give in to so many of these conspiracy theories. Again, if you're a very healthy person and you take your medicine, I mean, you take your vitamins, you work out every other day, you get plenty of sunlight, you're doing all the right things, and you think you could beat it, by all means, you might want to risk it, but still wear, and you're gonna take your precautions, wear your mask, wash your hands, do everything, by all means. But I think that for some people who don't live that kind of a lifestyle, it might behoove them to go ahead and get the vaccine. Uh, Dion said COVID is not going. Oh, we read that one already, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm messing up. Sorry. No real difference. Oh, this is Markel comparing with her uncle Dad. No real difference. We both had a day of a slight headache and some body aching. Nothing more than that. Get the flu shot, the COVID shot. You mean, right?
No, she's saying it's like I think what she's saying is it's like very similar,
Oh, nothing more
like
than
when you get a flu shot.
right. Got you. Yeah. So yeah, I think that and you know what? In all the times that I've ever had a flu shot, I never had nothing. I didn't have no achy body. The only thing I had was a sore arm. That
Oh,
was
I was about to say you didn't even have that sore arm.
I had the sore arm, but that was it. But I also get a pneumococcal shot, and the pneumococcal shot was more painful than the flu shot. So no, I never really had any effects with the flu shot. Any bad.
Okay.
Um, and I continue to eat right and maintain with my vitamins and everything green I can get. I can blend or juice. Yes, she does do that. Here's the thing: the short term of COVID, people are leaving here fast. That's yep. I seen it firsthand, and I will see it how. And I see.
And I still see it. How sad it is.
Sorry, my reading, my what do you call it? Reading out loud. What they call it? Reading when you reading out loud, it's not that great.
Sharon said, "I'm gonna be the last person to take it. Not gonna be a." She said she's not gonna be a guinea pig.
Yeah.
Nicole said, "I'm definitely gonna wait."
Yeah, I'm waiting too, but I'm gonna take. I know I already made up in my mind that I'm gonna take it because, especially for somebody like me with my already challenging health conditions, and the fact that when I do go out, because I can't walk, I have to touch and hold on to different things. So I expose myself at a higher level than most people. So I think that for me, if I ever want to see the light of day, really, I have to take it eventually.
Now, do you think some would argue though that you should probably be more inclined to take it?
Yeah, they would, especially with my breathing issues. So, and my breathing issues have nothing to do with my lungs. My lungs are fine. My lungs are clear. It's more of a muscle issue. But God forbid my lungs started to fail because of COVID, I would really be messed up because I won't even have the muscle capacity to offset the lungs that are not working well. So I think, yeah, I'm going to take it.
What is phase 3? What does that mean?
I guess
I'm phase 3. I don't know who the Facebook user is. I'm phase 3. I'm going to patiently wait, but I will take it when it's my turn.
Maybe. I think they have different phases in which they're doling out the vaccine.
Like okay.
Older people, they're in that older people and people with underlying.
I would imagine they would be an earlier phase. Okay.
People who are smokers or have what's that lung disease, I forget anyway. I'm not a
COP or something like that.
yes. I'm not a look again. I'm not a medical professional. I only play a doctor on TV.
Because I work in healthcare, I just have a totally different outlook on it. It has been a total nightmare watching people leaving here that fast, all walks of life, especially our people. Yeah, I don't even. I listen. I can't even imagine. And kudos to all the healthcare professionals, by the way, because I just often think about. I don't know how. Just to be able to go back and do that day after day after day after day. You are the real MVPs, the real heroes. Um, so kudos to you. Meanwhile, I will continue to exercise and eat healthy.
So that sounds like they're not gonna take the shot. Um,
It's probably due to her age. Oh, the phase 3 thing, yeah. So,
you
hey,
definitely.
Miss Sylvia. Hi, ladies. I used to take the flu shot and got the flu every year. I quit 1 year, and last year I took the flu shot and I got very ill. I swear I had the COVID before I even knew what it was. I was given 2 meds that I saw on TV that the first COVID patients were given. I fell asleep and was out 2 days while sick. I haven't had a cold in a year, and I used to have a cold every month. I am now interested in getting COVID shot and can't get an appointment. I filled out papers and it went on.
And see, and that's the horrible thing is that when people are ready to get the shot, it's not available because I filled out the county had this list to see where you would fall, what phase you would fall in, and I filled it out, and they said that I was eligible to get the shot, but they also said I would probably not be able to get the shot, or that it would be hard to get it because it was unavailable. That so many people were having a hard time getting it. So that's another thing. But as far as taking that flu shot, I've heard so many people say they've gotten the flu shot and then got sick. But but as I said before, people's bodies are so different and so individual that you can't have a one stop shop and one thing fix all. It's just unfortunate, but that's not how it goes. Um, I was supposed to be in the stage 3, but I have underlying health conditions that took me to phase 2. That was good. But and you did. She said she had the shot earlier, right?
I think she had the first one and now she's getting ready to take the second one on the 11th.
That's good. Raquel said blessings to the frontliners. Uh, I flew out of state and I was a. You filled out of state. I think that's what she means. Phil.
She said she filled out the state and I was eligible.
Okay, filled out. Okay,
I'm assuming.
that's what I'm.
And this is Dion giving us a website.
Oh, good. Thank you, Dion.
Please go to rwjbh/covidvaccine.org.
Oh, you could probably register on this one. Thanks, D.
I know they were doing something through my job too.
Uh-huh. So there's so many different ways you have to research to really find a place that's giving it out because they said they had lots of shots in Newark, and if you go to Newark, you could get it. So I guess it's a matter of where you go, whether you could get it or not.
And look at Beatrice is saying she called. She said, but the city of Passaic, I called in and got an appointment in days.
See, it depends on where you're going. Because I think I'd rather have it at my doctor, but I don't know if doctor's office have them like that.
Right. And there are extra in my country. Does she mean county? That's how I received it so early.
Uh-huh. Yep, seeing Essex County. See, I told you.
Yeah. But Beatrice is giving more information too. She said she had the first shot. Passaic City Health Department is taking appointments 2 days.
Okay. Oh yeah, there it is. And the doctor don't have it. See, my doctor, he probably won't have it either. Oh boy, so that's about the skinny young ladies with the COVID. it's it's all really going to be up to whether you do your research, and most important, how comfortable you feel. You have to feel comfortable about taking it, because I know me, I don't live alone. If I lived alone, I probably wouldn't take it at all, because I don't mind. I'll stay home. Staying home is not, it's not a problem for me. I'm good. So I would just, be like a hermit and be in the house. But because I live with other people, they come in and out. People, my friends come visit me,
I
and
was gonna say you have a lot of traffic though.
yeah, I have a lot of traffic. Always have. So I probably should protect myself. So that would make me more comfortable if I felt like I could be protected from death by
Mm-hmm.
getting a shot. Um, but other than that, I probably would not. Um, what?
Trina said, which is crazy that the doctors don't have them. I would rather get my vaccine with my healthcare provider because they have all my records. Yeah, you just feel more comfortable with your doctor.
Exactly. Um, when I filled out the forms to take it, I was told of my condition. I will not need to take it in the hospital setting.
I would need to take it. I was told because of my condition, I will need to take it in a hospital setting.
Oh, now I never heard that one before, but that's unusual. I guess maybe they thought that they would have side effects. I don't know if they could elaborate on that one. My concern is about mass immunizations is that they don't really know your medical history. That's exactly what I feel like. I feel like I won't. They don't know me. Period. So I rather. Plus, I feel like. I mean, I don't want to buy into that particular silly conspiracy theory. I think all the medicine is the same. So don't get me wrong. But I would trust that my doctor that knows me would be less likely to give me some BS. That's really how I feel. Michelle,
Please stay safe and please do your research. And I would hope that we get this vaccine. Also, I would prefer a hospital because you have to be observed for 15 to 30 minutes.
oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, because allergies. Oh, that's right. I did hear about that. And that's a concern for me. That some people who have shellfish allergies that may have allergic reactions to the medicine.
Really? I didn't hear that.
I hear that, and I have shellfish allergies, so that's a concern for me. Gotta remember that. Um, so yeah, so that's about the what they say the
The extent.
yes, the extents, the ins and outs of COVID vaccination. For me, I just want people to think about some of the misnomers out there, some of the rumors, and a lot of the crazy conspiracy theories that shut up, Jimmy, shut up. I'm not even gonna highlight that, Jimmy, because you being fresh. And that wasn't nice at all.
Oh,
I'm so tickled. I can barely go on. I gotta tell the people because they ain't gonna know why we laughing. Jimmy said I got dessert allergies.
Because everybody knows you have a sweet tooth, Nikki.
I wish I did have dessert allergies.
Look, now Jimmy cracking up.
Oh God. Now that was funny right there. Oh, okay, let's read this one, Michelle.
So this Facebook user says she's not comfortable. I don't believe enough research has been done, nor have the side effects been clearly explained. The facts seem to be all over the place. Yeah, I think that's part of the concern, right? I think everybody is so new. And like I said at the beginning, we have no precedents. So we have nothing really to compare it to. And in as much as the doctors are relying on technology and the resources that they have available to them, because we haven't seen this before, we just don't know. So it's almost like a wait and see type situation, and some people just don't want to take that risk.
Right.
Oh, we getting a lot of information about it now. Go, I'll let you do the comments. I'll read them, Nikki.
Okay, go ahead. Read that one there. That's up.
I believe that a lot of us want to take it, but just have reservations. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, Deacon Donald McNair Jr. says, my wife and I received the vaccine today. Afterwards, we had to wait at least 15 minutes before we were released. So now we learned that, you know, they keep an eye on you, I guess, for anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes to make sure that you don't have any allergic reactions to it. How did you feel? Are you having it? Are you and Diane having any side effects, Dee?
Right.
Letitia said, I don't trust these vaccines. I will wait for the pill, the one developed in Australia. I have underlying conditions, shellfish, allergies, etc. My adult kids live with me, and they're more likely to bring in COVID into the house as they work outside. I'm good being a hermit. I love my own company. I can do another 12 months in the house. I don't trust any of these. Well, tell us how you really feel, Miss Letitia.
Letitia, I feel the same way you feel. Only thing is, because I live in the house with other people, I feel like I'm more in a rush to do something, take something. I had to sit for 30 days, and there were healthcare providers on hand. Yes, so that looks like it's the norm for people to sit and wait after you have your vaccination.
Arlene said, hi, Arlene. Arlene said, I have never taken a flu shot, and through the grace of God, I've never had the flu. Not sure what to do when it comes to taking this vaccine. At this point, I'm so uncomfortable with the thought of taking this shot. Yeah.
I think most Americans, but Black Americans in particular, are very cautious about taking this vaccine. All these vaccines, all these years, but suddenly they have
all these viruses. Didn't I say leave the reader to me?
Oh, go ahead. What did I say?
Vaccines.
Oh, that
all these viruses, all these years, but suddenly they have an answer. Shaking my head.
Well, that was what I had explained earlier, that you have to kind of keep in mind that the science is far more advanced than it used to be even 10 years ago. So, not to mention that we've never had a virus that was killing people at such a high rate,
right?
So fast, so that even when the AIDS and epidemic was around, people were dying. It was
years later,
yes, but it was years later. It was 1-2 years later. This is killing people in weeks. So there is a real rush to kind of.
And you know what I'm thinking about too? I think you also have to consider the fact that the way this thing came about, like it was like a flood, right? They had to do something. I mean, think about it. I think there's a lot of people that had concerns about how long it did take, right? Even though we want everything to be vetted, we want it to all be researched and trialed out, if you will. But at the same time, if they would have done nothing, we would have been complaining about that too. Like, I don't know what we want sometimes. You know what I'm saying? It's like if they do it too fast, we concerned about that. If they do it too slow, we worried about that too. So this is where, honey, you just got to pray over it.
And the thing is, when this comment here, don't believe America, this is a worldwide problem. Everybody is dealing with this, and everybody. Right. In fact, when you think about the drugs that are developed, they weren't just developed with American scientists. They were developed with scientists from all over the world. So, I mean, you have to think about that as well. Miss Kemp took it. What was your experience?
You didn't tell me that.
You going for a second next week? Okay, go ahead, Rita.
Sylvia said, I'm now in Essex County and don't see where the shots are given. But when I called Passaic County, there was nothing available. I read in the Star Ledger yesterday, it says the drugstores will be getting the vaccine by the end of the drugstores.
Yeah, CVS.
I agree. I wish our doctors who know our history could get the vaccine and give us the shots. Like you said, Nikki, if I was alone, I wouldn't get the shot either.
Right, me either. go see. She goes for us next week. Hello.
Crystal, she's the Facebook user. When you go on Facebook, or when you go to log in, there should be something that says, "Do you want us to show your name? Do you want StreamYard to use your name?" That's how your name will show up. But hi, good to see you. You still singing, girl?
Oh, that's Crystal. Crystal. Oh, I see it now. Yes. Read what she said.
She said, "Am I coming up as a Facebook user? I'm sorry, it's Crystal Inspire Atmosphere."
Yes. I'm sorry.
So Kim said when she took it, she said she was just a little tired the next day, but that's it. Well, I wouldn't know the difference because I'm a little tired every day. So
Okay, I'm trying to get through these comments because we're running down the time and we didn't even get to our lighter side. Oh, the West Orange Kmart. Kmart's still there? Oh. Or the
Miss
Livingston
Sylvia, you can go up to the Oakade Kmart in West Orange or Livingston Mall, the old Sears.
Okay. Okay, but 10 years later, they still ain't figured out the old viruses. Well, they working on this one so hard they done dropped everything. Because right now, we were very close to a cure for ALS. Not a cure, but some help. And they stopped working on that to work on this. So everything's pushed back right about now. So,
Of course, African Americans and Latinos minorities need to be wary. We've been guinea pigs for centuries.
yeah.
But now here's the thing. Kim says you have the best of the best working on developing these vaccines. Crazy Giles is clearly not having it. It's all about money.
Well,
I don't know though, because too many people dying. It ain't just about money. I mean, you have to consider the fact that too many people dying.
to some extent, everything is about money.
I mean, really, yeah.
Honest with that, but in this particular moment, and here's my thought around that period, because there's so many theories about even how the disease got into the atmosphere. Was it planned? Was it a chemical, biological warfare? Was it to reduce population? Whatever the case may be, you still have to consider that this is killing so many people so fast that you have to have something in order to kind of put a stop on it, put a hold to it. So
Right.
you can't just let it languish and then nobody is getting help nowhere. So they had to do something, whether they meant to kill this many people or not. If that was the case, I'm not saying that that's what I believe. I'm just saying if something got out the bag and they didn't mean for it to get out the bag the way it got out the bag, they needed to kind of halt it because they're in trouble, because now it's going to everybody. Everybody is dying. Them too. Don't. Well, again, we're saying on this particular program to judge for yourself.
Yeah.
Research, to don't necessarily buy into all the conspiracy theories. Do your research and take care of yourself. If you decide that that's not what you want to do, you don't want to take it, by all means, that's your right. But you need to take care of yourself too and the people around you. Wear your mask, because just because you don't get it, don't be selfish.
Right.
But you could be a carrier and bring it to other people. So you have to be very responsible.
Only America hasn't gotten it together.
That's kind of true, but we know that's the fault of the orange man. So
with these new variants of this virus now creeping into with these new variants of the virus now creeping into the country and people not adhering to CDC rules, I feel like we need to be as protected as much as possible.
I agree. Yep.
So no Kmart, no longer there.
Oh, so what's there? What she say?
I don't know.
That used to be my Kmart. Okay, Rita, go ahead now. Read what's on the screen, not the.
Exactly. And the truth of the matter, I've prayed God give the scientists wisdom to help us. Yes. Now we have a vaccine and I lost my faith. She was praying for it. Now we got it. And she's scared. I mean, but it's Arlene is natural. I mean, you know, everybody's struggling. That's what it is. Um, yeah, and you know what, Kim? I have to agree with this. Kim said I would be a little skeptical if white folks weren't lining up to take it.
Right.
That was something else I consider. Everybody's looking to take it, so it can't. And if we all, like you said, Nikki, get in the same vaccine,
right, right.
So
Conspiracy to kill black folks,
right?
Unless they got a special agent in there that work on melanin. Like, let me stop.
I don't know, and I'm like, Lord, not to switch vibes, but I'm like, Lord, deliver me from all of these conspiracy theorists, because that crazy woman, what's her name, SMK, whatever her crazy name is.
They just stripped her of her
good, because she talking about lasers and Jewish people, and oh my God, I can't even watch her.
Me either.
Like, she need to be locked up somewhere.
But it's a shame that the Democratic Party had to strip her, and her own party would not strip her.
Well, they said they gave her a standing ovation yesterday. I don't want to switch conference. Yeah, it's horrible. CBS will start giving out COVID vaccines in some New Jersey stores next week. NewJersey.com. We have the link here.
Yes, thank you, Denise. Sissy.
Okay, there you have it.
Okay, another one. Vaccinations at
Kmart. Kmart used to be my favorite place. That's why I was so comfortable for me. It was so comfortable for me.
At the Kmart, a vaccination at the Kmart?
I never heard of it. COVID vaccine location is at that location now. Kmart.
Used to be. Okay, got you. Thank you for clearing that up. You know I'm a little slow sometimes.
You know, I love how we just share information in here.
Yeah, that's the
COVID is not unlike the plague, smallpox, Spanish flu, and AIDS. In the past, they were major killers, easily spread, but not easily contained. Yeah, well said, Letitia.
That's very true. That's my girlfriend, Letitia. She's very smart.
Point taken. No matter what we do, we are taking. Yeah,
that's true. That's how
they are on a mission to kill as many as they can.
But here's the thing about that. You know, this is the one conspiracy I do believe in, that America and parts of white America are very sinister. But my thought is this: they don't need a vaccine to kill us off if they really want to kill us off. So, really, one way or another, we're at risk. We just have to find the best ways to protect ourselves. And that's it.
Mm-hmm.
If we're getting the same vaccine.
If we're all getting the same vaccine.
We are. That's what I said. I
know. I'm just posting the quote. I'm reading what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah. We are. I believe we are. I don't believe it's I don't think that, this is just my opinion, I really don't think that it's logistically possible to have
different vaccines.
Exactly. And have them this many, because you don't know who's coming. Mm-hmm. Like, for instance, I'm telling you, these areas in the Black community where the vaccine went to help the Black community, white people are taking these vaccines because we're not going to get them. So they lined up and they're getting them. So what they're gonna do at the last minute, say, okay, we'll pull them now and go get something else because Black people ain't showing up. It's the white people. We can't get them. No, it's logistically impossible.
And they're saying too, I mean, I think we've since learned you can't always believe everything they say on the news, but the news is reporting that a lot of Black people aren't taking it.
Right.
They just aren't taking it. Like the percentage of Black people that are going in and taking the vaccine is considerably lower than, those of our white counterparts. So I don't know. My worries are the long-term effects of the vaccine. Yeah, Tanya, that's what we were saying earlier. Like, we all have reservations, right? It's so much that we just don't know about it. I think we all have reservations, but You
But
absolutely.
that's the thing. Like I said earlier, you have to almost kind of consider and weigh this disease, this Russian roulette. If you get it, you don't know if you're gonna die in 2 weeks or not. So the only option is to take the vaccine, and if you have a long term effect, look, maybe you'll grow an extra eye on your forehead. When you want to live with the extra eye on your forehead 10 years from now, or do you want to die 2 weeks from now? Those are things you have to, consider, because it's like the vaccine for HIV. I mean, not vaccine. The when they came out with the medication for HIV, I'm sure those people would have taken anything to live. So
And it's so funny. I could hear Kim saying this too. That would take a lot of thought to separate the vaccines. Kill black people vaccine over here, save white lives over here. Stop it.
right,
That's how she said it.
it's not possible. So some of our theories, we got to leave them as theories and let it go. Okay, so we done ran out of time, but I did kind of want us to have a little light moment though and talk about your movie, Michelle.
Which movie?
What's your girlfriend's name? Wendy Williams.
Oh, God.
Wait, before we do it, Evelyn is giving good information about where they're giving it out at.
Hello, my sisters. I just came on. I finally took it last week at number 11 school. It was the Moderna, one which was developed by the team headed by a sister.
Okay, so some people are getting them, and the people that I know that have had the vaccine, they haven't had any problems with it. So far, we like we said, we don't know what long term, but right now it's not really hurting. So to be protected. So I'd rather be protected.
Michael said, the question is, do you want to have a long term here or in heaven? It's not about a particular color. It's about the mission of killing people.
And we talked about that. Are they really trying to reduce populations because they know that the effects that they're doing to the earth will not support the billions of people that are here. So are they really trying to have population control? Could be. We don't know. But either way, I don't even want to go down that whole rabbit hole right now. It's too much for me. That's
Listen, it's like my pastor, God rest his soul, used to always say, you have to use wisdom and common sense and of course prayer. That's it. You got to use wisdom and common sense.
That's it.
That's it.
I see.
I mean, we came on here just to try to share some information, be able to get some dialogue going around how we feel about this, and what the consensus is, and again, just trying to protect our people, right? Because we know so many of us are not taking the vaccine for whatever their reasons are. But we wanted to be able to have a platform where we could share as much information, which I'm so proud of us. We have some of us share locations and websites that we could go to and experiences that they've shared. So that's what this is really all about. We, Nikki said at the top of the hour, we're not medical professionals. We're not doctors. We're not giving nobody any advice. We just here to share information, a safe place to share information. Kim says we're doing a pretty good job of killing ourselves out here in these streets every day. So, we have to think about it and make our choices. We have to make our choices and our decision. Yes, Ev, Pastor always said we got to use wisdom and common sense and pray. That was a good message. It had been hypothesized the initial intent in China was to thin out the old and the infirm. It got out of control and out of containment.
I mean, the thing is, especially when it comes to conspiracy theories, some of them are really downright silly, but I don't put nothing past no man, period. I don't. So it could be that we don't know. Only thing we know is the information we have at hand. And if it did get out of control, now they're trying to pull it back. And so they're offering something to help pull it back. And so we have to be the ones to decide, are we going to partake in whatever it is that they have available to us or not? It's just, that's how we have to look at it. I don't put nothing past humans. I don't.
Yeah.
So this was a livelier discussion than I thought it would be.
I know. But real quick before we hang up, please tell everybody what you thought about that Wendy Williams movie.
This is the only thing I could think about the whole time. Is I really want to just go ahead and be her counselor. Somebody give her my phone number. I felt so sorry for her. But oh my God.
I just don't even know what to make of her anymore. And I used to be everybody knows I was a big old Wendy fan. Mm-hmm. And I want to say to some degree, I still am a little bit, but like she lost me. Somewhere she dug herself down a rabbit hole and she lost me.
Right. I just want to point, Arlene, yes, right on point.
This is a discussion, that's all. Please, let's not make this a black or white thing. Yes.
Thank you for saying that, Arlene. But yeah, I felt bad for her. Although, let me say, part of me felt like, look, all this mess you did to other people is coming back on you. I really felt like that. You still reading, Michelle?
Yeah. Very good show, ladies. Glad to know that others question the same way I am. Exactly. That's the whole reason behind this, and Sylvia. Like, we all have questions, we all have thoughts, we all have conversations. We just decided to do it all together. So thank you for coming and showing up.
And I was even thinking about having a professional on to discuss, but whether a professional comes on or not, people are still going to have doubts because this is so new. The vaccine is very new, very fast put out. You're always gonna have, a little bit of, like you said, trepidation behind whether I should take this or not.
Mm-hmm.
So this is all so new to us all. But I'm glad you guys felt it not robbery to come on and just share your thoughts about it. Wait, I'm trying to get this one that Markel said about.
She said, I love Wendy, but what goes around comes around. She knew all that was going on and still never mentally repaired herself.
Yeah. Yes, because look, mentally she was a basket case. Her mother.
Well, you feel like you. Well, I was gonna say what you getting ready to say. Go ahead.
Her mother and father made her. They messed her up from the beginning when she was a child, and the way they did not allow her to be comfortable in her own skin as the authentic person she was. And when you do that to people, you could see that she has a whole life full of being a chameleon, trying to adapt herself to whatever situation she put herself in, never really being who she really was. And when people do that, they never ever really get to experience just being them. And they develop all of these I forget the word, but they develop all of these shells that they put themselves in to protect themselves.
Right.
And you could clearly see that that's what she does. And her life, to have all of that money, all of that fame, notoriety, people who love her, and her life still be so miserable. It's really
well. Christy brought up a great point.
Wait, I don't see. Okay.
I think she knows the BS she has dishes out is coming back. She's dished out is coming back to her. However, Wendy is a broke woman, stems from her upbringing and her insecurities, which is why it is so important to deal with those issues, because if not, they just fester and grow. And I don't believe she's happy. Not even a little bit.
No, she can't be happy. You can't be happy when you're sitting there saying, I'm my own best friend.
But well, let me say this. There's nothing wrong with enjoying your own company. I know a lot of people who
I
are
enjoy my own company.
right, who are loners, but I don't know if they go as far as saying I'm my own best friend.
Right.
And I really think that it's just a defense mechanism. I think it's a wall that she put up to try to protect herself. But unfortunately, she created a lot of these situations for herself. The universe will not allow you to just go out there treating people any old kind of way without it not coming back on you somehow, some way. It doesn't work that way. So,
So if there's the takeaway, because I don't like to just bring up subjects just to pick on Wendy or be mean with Wendy. The takeaway is that you have to learn how to be your authentic self. And you have to go and get the help that you need. And this is what I think that she did not do. Or people in positions like the orange man. A lot of times people in positions of power, they get these people around them that are yes people because they have something at stake. Either they want money or they want to lag on to your fame, whatever it is. They're not telling you the truth about who you are. So she surrounds herself with these people who are not telling her the truth about who she is so she can get help. And that's what she needed. Just because let me just say, I think she has a really good mind. I don't think she's.
I think the core of who she is a very smart woman. Yes. She didn't get this successful not being a savvy businesswoman. Her character is what I question sometimes.
So here's the thing. This is what I was going towards when I said that about smart people. Smart people, sometimes you really do have to check them. Because smart people could be so damn smart that they're too smart for themselves. And he who was in the picture can't see the frame. And then they could judge everything outside of themselves, but nothing about what's going on inside themselves. So you need people around you who will be honest with you about you. And I think if she had that, she would have been able to get closer to getting help earlier. And I mean real help. Not that old going to the little fancy place she went to keep her, because that's all that was. Her husband wanted to keep her.
Well, the way she talked about it, though, that wasn't even her choice. At first, when she first announced it on the show, I thought it was her choice to go there. But the way it was explained in the movie, she didn't want to do that. That was something that she did to try to.
The way it looked like to me in the movie was that this was a place that this man chose for her so that he could keep her from being able to read tabloids or read what he had going on in the background. That's what it appeared to be. So I don't know how much of the movie is true. If they just, embellishing for the movie, we don't know. But that's what it appeared. It appeared as if he was really just trying to get her away so he could take over her stuff and keep her from knowing. That's what it looked like to me.
And I don't think the thing that was most interesting to me was he really didn't change his ways. In other words, he was like this from the gate. She stayed in that situation because at one point I think she was trying to say she stayed for her son. She wanted to wait until her son was out of the house, yada, yada, yada. But this was going on from the very beginning. Well, so why did you stay so long? And I'm not questioning because everybody got to do what they got to do in their own relationship. We're not here for that. But I'm like,
she loved him because listen, she could say she her own best friend all the hell she wants to, but everybody needs somebody now. That's just how we're built as humans. And so he showed her a little bit of affection and attention, and part of it to me was more on a sinister manipulative side, because I believe that he saw her as a check all along, and so he was protecting what was his
investment, or what he thought his meal ticket, his golden egg.
Right. So, and to me, she fell in love with him, and that's what it was. I believe she really loved him, and that's why she didn't leave him.
I literally read yesterday, I think it was, that he opens up a high-end Italian restaurant in Brooklyn. I thought he had moved to Florida.
With all his alimony money?
Yeah. Yeah, Facebook user. I think she stayed till her son went to college. She did. She even talked about how she didn't want to, I guess, break up the family. But I sincerely quite, I don't know, I can't speak to it because I don't have any kids, but I often wonder, you can't, I don't think it's fair to stay in bad relationships and say that it's for the sake of the kids, because I feel like in the long run, you do more damage than good, because you are always that example to your kids. And what they end up seeing is disrespect, trauma, chaos. I'd much rather be with a single healthy parent,
That
than two dysfunctional ones
that was
together.
the cop out though. She didn't stay for the little boy. She stayed because she loved that man, and she probably felt like she couldn't get anybody any better. That's what I saw, because her self esteem is so damaged, it's so weak,
Horrible. Stop.
and you could see that even in her upbringing, that her parents ruined her. They ruined her self esteem, and she'll never be the same again unless she get a good psychotherapist.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah. She really, because she got to deal with herself first.
yep, yep.
And you can see it, and it's unfortunate that nobody is saying anything to her. And by the way, quiet as it's kept, because Christy made a comment about how she was crying through that whole after. So I don't care what nobody say. Wendy was high as a kite doing that after documentary.
It's oh yeah, I'll see it.
She was high as a kite. I don't care what nobody say. So she needs to deal with all of those issues. Because that was a mess.
Being high is another way to escape feelings. So
Yeah.
you want to read that one?
Has anyone seen the Michelle and Dr. Dre movie documentary? I was watching it last night, and she went through a lot with Dre. Yeah, that was on a while ago. That's been around.
So, like I said, I like to have takeaways for our audience, because that's what this whole platform is about. And the takeaway is, because Michelle A experienced that as well. We have to learn how to, at the core of ourselves, love ourselves and build our self-esteem. But you can't do it with if you're hiding from yourself. You take you everywhere you go. And if you don't clean you up, I don't care what man you could be with this man today and that man tomorrow. You're not gonna have a good relationship with any of them until you clean you up. In fact, you're always gonna attract a horrible person if you don't clean you up.
I don't know. That's deep.
But anyway, so that's that. I don't know, but I just want
Shalane, you went to a Wendy viewing party. Tell me what your thoughts were.
that I don't see that. I don't.
Oh, Shalane.
Yeah, these things got away from me. The comments.
She bagged meth. Do you really think she had meth?
When Shalane said she was drinking. I don't know.
No, Kim was saying she bagged meth. I don't know. I'm still on the fence about that one.
But why?
I don't know. I don't think meth was checking for her like that.
It ain't got nothing to do with checking. Some men are so nasty, not even nasty, because I'm not saying it's nasty to be with her. But men are dogs. They'll do whatever they can to whatever is moving, unless their morals are totally in check themselves. And most men are not. Sorry. Most men, if you give it to them on a plate, they're gonna take it.
I don't know though.
It don't matter if it's a paper plate or fine china.
It could be true. Shalane said she wasn't high. She was drinking.
She been drinking. Mm-hmm. But and again, though,
Shalane said, "Did you see how dirty meth looked back then?"
Well, I think
he fine now. I know one thing. He fine now, honey.
He was a little scrubby back then, but now he eating right, he living right. People change, people grow. So he might not bag her now, but I'm sure back then,
he probably did.
Yeah, I don't put it past him. I really don't.
Mm.
No, it's not like no, not at all.
Well, I wish her the best. I hope she finds some happiness.
Yes, me too. I do too. That's why I said give her my number. I'll break her up real good. I'll get her real good. I'll get her good. I'll show her herself, bring her to herself, and help her love herself. Look,
Yeah, Doris. Doris said Wendy would have stayed in that relationship if he didn't have a baby with her.
would have. Yeah.
Because as we all said, she was doing that he was doing that from the beginning. Yeah. The baby is what really
Yeah.
did it. That was the one that she could not swallow. If he wouldn't have had, because it was everybody already said he had been in that relationship with Sharina for what,
But
10
yeah.
years plus?
And the thing was, it wasn't even so much the baby that did it. It was the fact that people knew about the baby. Because again, her mother and her father got her so worried about appearances that is what actually shapes her life instead of her being authentic to who she is. She was embarrassed by that. So it was the embarrassment that made her leave that relationship. If he didn't embarrass her, if he was really keeping that quiet under wraps and nobody knew, she'd still be with him, baby or not. Baby or not. Yep.
Almost 2 decades of messing around on her.
Yeah. So, but that's her. That's that inner thing. That's that lady thing. You gotta. It's just some things you won't take when you get yourself all the way right. Give her my number. I get all the way right.
If she'll listen, that's the
Oh, she
trauma.
won't listen to me.
That's the tragedy.
I would help her to listen. I would. I think that some people, you know, a skilled counselor
Like yourself.
like myself could get people to listen even when they think they don't want to listen. I've had clients walk out on me, and guess what? They come right back because they know, you. It's hard to look at yourself when there's things that hurt. It's nobody wants to face what hurts them. So it is really hard to get people to look at themselves. And when you start showing them themselves, sometimes they do turn away and they'll go away for a little while. But when they start to realize that what you're doing for them is really helpful, and it's starting to bring them some semblance of solace, they come back. I'm telling you, they come back. If you know what you're doing, you have to know what you're doing though.
I still feel like you got to be a little open though.
Well, you can't counsel nobody who's not open.
Right.
But there is a way that a good counselor could
Will get you to open.
Exactly. Exactly. You can't force nothing. You can't force nothing. But if a good counselor could get them to open. Oh, okay. So, ladies, we went so far over time, but I was really enjoying our conversation. I think the information that was shared with us by you was so beneficial. I didn't really want to cut it off. And I did want us to leave with a little bit of lightheartedness. Not that her situation should be taken as a joke. That's not the point of it. But I just didn't want us to leave with the heaviness of COVID and the worry of it. So I wanted us to have something a little bit more fun to talk about on our way out. And that's why I wanted to switch the topic and just ask people what their thoughts were on the movie. The movie was, the acting is always
suspect.
The girl she did do a pretty good likeness of Wendy, I think.
And I saw something where she was like, "Oh, I studied for however long to get the accent down." I said, "Well, you didn't study long enough because she didn't sound nothing like Wendy, honey."
A little bit. Sometimes she did. I thought she.
Girl, bye. They should have called me.
You do have a likeness sometimes.
That's what they should have called.
But yeah, I thought the movie overall, all of those little Lifetime movies be made kind of trashy. I don't really care for them that much, but
it's about the storytelling.
Right, and that one had a good story. I like the story because I'm telling you, I like that finally. I really kind of, because all along, for years, Michelle, I kept saying, "Oh, her mother messed her up."
Mhm.
Mother
You
messed
did
up.
say that now. I will give you that.
And finally, I got to see the proof of what I was saying right there, front and center. A
Yeah.
mother messed her up.
Yeah.
Ladies, don't mess up your daughters and your sons. Let them be who they are. Let them flourish as what they came here to be.
Shalane said Salt and Pepper was horrible. I don't know why I felt like they rushed through that movie.
It was horrible.
I was like, what did I just watch?
Horrible. I'm mad that I watched it.
I don't like how they did Spinderella.
Me either. Nope. They could have gave her.
I felt some type of way about that.
They could have gave her a voice in that movie. It was that was distasteful.
Oh,
But yes, ladies, let's say good night. Michelle, would you do us the honors? Saying goodbye, good night to all of our lovely people.
Bye. Thank you for another wonderful evening, ladies. It's always a pleasure to get with you in the ladies' room. Can't wait to see you again. Same time,
Same bad station.
same bat station, same bat channel. Next week, Thursday night, 7 o'clock, from our homes to yours. Oh boy.
Good night.